products delivered to you via superb service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibbin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
Ever wonder how water goes from its natural source to coming out of our tap crystal clear and safe to drink? Well, let me introduce you to the water! Grenada's National Water and Sewage Authority. They are the water wizards behind it all. Yay! A whopping 95% of all water comes from surface sources. This water might look muddy now, but wait until you see the transformation. First, they add a non-toxic chemical to the water. This brings particles together, forming clumps in a process called coagulation. Next, a gentle stir helps the particles come together. This is called flocculation. Gravity does its thing and the clumps settle to the bottom. This is sedimentation. Then the water is passed through a bed of sand. This filtration removes up to 95% of bacteria. See the difference? Now our water is clear and nearly bacteria free. Lastly, chlorine is added for disinfection, killing any remaining bacteria and making the water safe to drink. And that, my friends, is how Nawasa brings pure, refreshing water from their surface sources to our pipes, our wash pan, our buckets, whatever you think about.
This advertisement is the first in a series showcasing Nawasa's operations. Stay tuned for more in-depth insights into our services and initiatives.
Infinite Contractors and Machinery. We are your one-stop engineering and consultancy company with experience locally, regionally, and internationally. We provide excavation services and engineering consultancy, construction of residential and commercial structures, civil works such as drainage, retaining walls, roads, concrete patio services, paving services, concrete driveway services, remodeling and renovation, painting services, styling services, and so much more. Ask about our rental services of excavators, heavy equipment, metal formwork, and steel prop. Contact us today via telephone number 537-9675 or email infinitecontractors19@gmail.com.
Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store now has amazing deals, special discounted prices on wedding sets, watches, and selected jewelry. We sell top brand jewelry and watches like Citizen, Guess, and Klein, and G-Shock, all at the best prices in Grenada. We also buy scrap gold and offer the best deals and customer service on the island. Opening hours Mondays to Saturdays, 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store, located at the Esplanade Mall, St. George's, Grenada. Visit our brand new remodeled store or call us on telephone number 414-3114, 232-1234 or WhatsApp 533-1581. Sale is on for a limited time only. Well, hello, and welcome to another Mikey Live program. My name is Mikey Hutchinson, and we are coming to you live from the Spice Isle of the Caribbean. And of course, we got a few things to tell you about on the business, so brace yourself for it. So, first things first, the Ministry of Education and the Grenada Union of Teachers battle for media presence. Today, there was one press conference that was announced by the Grenada Union of Teachers, and then one announced by the Ministry of Education for the same time. We'll talk about what has happened since and what was discussed. Gasoline, diesel, and kerosene and bulk fuel will take a dive in the petroleum products. In this month's price adjustment, we'll talk about that. We'll hear from the Ministry of Agriculture, a call for groovy and power soca artists to attend an important Carnival review meeting as well. Grenada Cyber Security Incident Response Team, they're speaking about calls from unknown numbers. And of course, we're hearing from the GFA, the Premier League. I think the Premier League tournaments, they are going really good, and there are some people who are standing out. We're going to talk about that in a moment as well. So we have a few things to tell you about on the program. Brace yourselves. This is what we call News Discussed Not Told. It is Mikey Live. Welcome to the first-time viewers and to the usual suspects. Hello. When we come back, it will be real news in order Lili Lolo. Of course, the headlines brought to you through the kind compliments of Coates, Grenada Limited, Digicel, Nawasa, Real Value, IGA Supermarket, Superb Distributors. We've got Infinite Contractors on board as well. So earlier, we are coming back. Remember, someone sharing tonight's program will receive some free credits, compliments, Digicel. That lucky person might just be you.
Ever wonder how water goes from its natural source to coming out of our tap crystal clear and safe to drink? Well, let me introduce you to Nawasa! Grenada's National Water and Sewage Authority. They are the water wizards behind it all. Yay! A whopping 95% of all water comes from surface sources. This water might look muddy now, but wait until you see the transformation.
First, they add a non-toxic chemical to the water. This brings particles together, forming clumps in a process called coagulation. Next, a gentle stir helps the particles come together. This is called flocculation. Gravity does its thing, and the clumps settle to the bottom. This is sedimentation. Then, the water is passed through a bed of sand. This filtration removes up to 95% of bacteria. See the difference? Now, our water is clear and nearly bacteria-free. Lastly, chlorine is added for disinfection, killing any remaining bacteria and making the water safe to drink.
And that, my friends, is how Nawasa brings pure, refreshing water from their surface sources to our pipes, our wash pan, our buckets, whatever you think about.
This advertisement is the first in a series showcasing Nawasa's operations. Stay tuned for more in-depth insights into our services and initiatives.
Well, why not? So, yes, today we heard from the Ministry of Education. That is right. There was an announcement that there will be a press conference by the Grenada Union of Teachers, and that they were going to be addressing some interesting issues that they've had, and then there's a press conference announced by so one is the GUT, and the other by the Ministry of Education. All right, so the GUT wanted to address some concerns that they've had, and then the Ministry of Education, then they're saying that they too wanted to host a press conference. Now, both parties went ahead with their press conferences. The difference was that according to Mr. Jude Bartholomew, who is the head of the GUT, he says that they wanted to yield a bit. And I understand they wanted to give the government, ting. So then they changed their time to accommodate the press conference of the GUT, the Ministry of Education. So, what did the Ministry of Education speak about? Now, people have been wanting to understand what is the plan for the opening or the reopening of schools in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Here is the minister to speak on this.
Good morning, wherever you are across Grenada, Carnival, and Petit Martinique, and indeed listening on the various platforms. It's a pleasure to be able to speak with you and bring to you updates in relation to the reopening of school in Carnival and Petit Martinique. This morning, two issues will be treated with. One, of course, the resumption of school on Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and the introduction of a financial support care package for students from Carriacou and Petit Martinique attending the TMRE Show Community College and the Nulo campuses on mainland Grenada. So I'll start with the latter first. And the Ministry of Education has been able to finalize its education care package for students from Carriacou and Petit Martinique who are registered to attend the Theophilus Albert Marischal College, Community College, and the New Life Organization, NULO, this year, September 2024. Both Year 1s and Year 2 students will be recipients of this package. At the ministry and as a government, we understand that many of the parents of these students have been adversely affected, their livelihoods, some of them fisher folk, and some of them their boats were damaged. And so because of that, we felt the need to support those students who wanted to continue their educational journey. And so some 60 plus students from the Sister Isles who are going to attend the TAMCC on the mainland campus will receive each a support package which will cover accommodation, meals, clothing allowance, a one-off, transportation, a one-off book allowance, and a laptop. So that will be for all of the students. And I can tell you, the initial payment to each student will be just about $3,700. And that will cover the one-off $1,200 book allowance. It will cover the $500 clothing allowance that is built into that figure, and a standard $2,000 that will be then given to each student thereafter as a monthly support.
And that's the Minister for Education talking about some of the plans that they have, including the reopening of school, and a kind of interesting, strategic approach as of the end of this month. We also heard from the Grenada Union of Teachers, and they are saying that they're happy to hear that the ministry have decided to have a press conference and to speak about certain things, because they were not hearing much about what was taking place with regards to the reopening of schools in Carriacou and what the strategy would be. And so they are saying that they are actually happy now to be hearing from the Ministry of Education.
Our raise, and I did raise, I'm from the Grenada Union of Teachers in Carriacou. We are listening that one or two of those matters were addressed. We also want to put on the record, even if those matters, but we have not heard anything about a consultation or a meeting, a dialogue with the Ministry of Education. I must put here a notice before we go further into the press conference that it was very surprising that the Ministry of Education, after the Grenada Union of Teachers would have announced that they have their press conference, we haven't heard anything or see anything from the Ministry of Education days before stating that they would have had a press conference today. So, like Nicodemus in the middle of the night, we were sort of a little bit surprised to hear that the Ministry of Education came forward this morning with a press conference the same time that we were going to have ours. As a matter of respect and such, we gave way, and that's the reason why we are holding the press conference now, even if we do apologize for it was a little bit really late. So the ministry knew that there were some serious matters to be addressed, especially we're going to be talking about just now that serious breach with temporary teachers and quite a number of teachers who have not been paid. And it's a really, really serious matter. And one can hear, I'm giving testimony to it, that the first thing this morning, the ministry tried to address it because they knew that we were coming with it and other matters. So we take note that they had a very hurried press conference this morning. Nevertheless, from the press conference with the Ministry of Education, we just want to express our sincere thanks and gratitude before we go into other matters of concern, because they did say they have some fiscal and financial package for students in Carriacou, school supplies, uniform. They talk about $2,000 monthly
Yes, and so that was the tone of the conversation in the beginning of the press conference hosted by the Grenada Union of Teachers. All right, so we are moving on. The next thing that we have to tell you about, boy. So the petroleum products is something that usually draws our attention, and interestingly, we are getting a price reduction this time around. All right, effective tomorrow, there will be a decrease for all petroleum products in this month's price adjustment. All right, now in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, gasoline goes down 79 cents to $15.07. Diesel. Now the diesel itself moves from $15.49 to $14.40, a $1.09 decrease, and kerosene moves down $1.64 to $10.25. All right, so that's the decrease, $1.64. On mainland Grenada, the 20-pound cylinder of cooking gas remains the same, $40. The 100-pound cylinder will decrease from $2.43 and 25 cents to $2.32.90, a decrease of $11.60. Bulk goes down by 1 cent from $2.50 to $2.40. What? No, by 10. All right, by 10 cents. All right, from $2.50 to $2.40. In Carriacou and Petit Martinique, the price of the cylinder of cooking gas remains $49. Bulk, but like on the mainland, the price of the 100-pound cylinder has decreased. Sorry, it goes down by $11.60 to $255.90 from the old price of $266.25. Bulk goes down 10 cents to $2.40. Now the new retail prices are computed based on the average of the actual cost, freight, and insurance rates for gasoline, diesel, and kerosene. However, the LPG cooking gas, the mean Caribbean postings at PLATTS for cost was used over the period August 14, 2024 to September 12, 2024. Petroleum products are price-controlled goods. Therefore, no retailer shall vary the stated prices, like nobody. All right? Good. So we are hearing that Grenada's golden boy is in for a little bit of recognition. Kirani James. Yes, sir. So here's what we are hearing. An article by Michael Bascom. Kirani James of Grenada is among 13 individuals set to receive honorary doctorates from the University of the West Indies during the upcoming graduation ceremony across the university's 5 campuses. And in an official statement, UWI confirmed its ongoing tradition of recognizing distinguished individuals from the Caribbean for their outstanding contributions to the region. According to the University Council, this year's recipients have excelled in various fields, including advocacy, medicine, tourism, culture, sports, business, education, science, and music. Kirani James, renowned for his athletic achievement, will be conferred the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws, LLD. James, who made history as Grenada's first Olympic gold medalist and remains a prominent figure in international track and field, is being celebrated for his excellence in sports. All right? And bringing global recognition to his home country. Dr. Kirani James. Whoa, blood! Dr. James. Good afternoon, Dr. James. Ew! So let me tell you the story. Many years ago, my colleague, and I probably would have told you that before, my colleague, Leon Decoto, at the time working with FM with day, called me and said, Mikey, come. You have a little boy in, was it Central School at the time? I can't remember. I don't know why it's ringing Central School, eh? But say, but you have a little boy. I wonder if he started Central School and then transferred to, what do you call it? But in my head, the memory could have been a little messed up, again old. But he said, and he showed me a picture on the phone. He said, that little boy? Watch that little boy, eh? That little boy go bad. So that little boy could run. You understand? He said, Mikey, so that little man could run. You know, and if you get the good guidance and thing, that man gonna be a boss, you know. Kirani James was the youth Leon Dikoto was talking about when he was little. You understand? And so said, so done. Dr. James. I calm down, Mikey. Guava people go like their selfie. Why listen, when people from Guava chief, they'll behave like if it's them, yo. They'll behave like if it's them. You understand? They go see motorcade, they go and they like the road show. So motorcade, the road show, and they want to get a thing. Or they go here, mass. Yeah, I didn't tell all you. Dr. James, sir. Good afternoon. Okay, so we're moving on. So, what else I have to tell you? I have a few things that still, you know. Yes, boy, the Grenada Cultural Foundation, through the Ministry of Culture, they are inviting all soca artists, both Power and Groovy, to attend a meeting on Saturday, September 21st, 2024, from 3 p.m. and it goes to 4:30 p.m. at the Spice Basket Gazebo, Folio, St. George. Now, they are saying that a comprehensive review of Spice Mass 2024 has been undertaken, and therefore it is important to hear the views of all soca artists and for persons to be selected to represent their fraternity at the National Review on October 4th and 5th, 2024. Also, they're having a national review. Okay. So they say that they're appealing to all to make a special effort to be there and to be on time. Now, for further information, you can contact the Grenada Cultural Foundation at 435-2839. All right. So, organize all yourself with the minute. All right. So, what else do I have to tell you? The Grenada National Cybersecurity Incident Response Team says it is aware of numerous Grenadians who have received and continue to receive spam calls from unknown foreign numbers. I believe my son got one of those calls. Say, Daddy, a strange person calling me without a proper number. Daddy, and he only calling me. There's a man, and he only calling me, but I can't see his number. And it's currently working along with the service providers to determine the root cause of the unsolicited calls and to identify the origin. CSUD says it intends to provide the necessary information as it becomes available. In the meantime, it's advising the public not to answer any calls from unknown foreign numbers and not to interact with or click on any link in messages from unknown foreign numbers. It also advises to block numbers. All right. So, right. If you think you hack or you can call 423-2478. All right. What else do I have to tell you? With the first half of the 2024 GFA Premier League competition concluded, Hurricane strikers, they're looking good, but there's particularly an individual, Kristen Julian. He stands out with top honors. Julian has 7 goals to his credit from the 9 games contested thus far, and he's above the top 6 strikers in the tournament thus far. Now, the other individuals who are making an impression are Raquel Charles from the Queen's Park Rangers, Keston Williams, who's from the Paradise FC International, and Holder Simon of Sab Spartan with 6 goals each. Ryan Alexander of Hurricanes and Garth Thomas of St. John Sports have 5 goals each. And so these are some players who have been doing really outstanding. So we thought we should just highlight them. Come in. Big up Selwyn. Yeah, you're really good on the stats, eh? Yeah, man. So, as we commit to agriculture, we can tell you that Acting Chief Veterinary and Livestock Officer, Dr. Kimon Cummings, has outlined the types of materials that will be distributed to the livestock farmers throughout the course of this week as part of the burial incentive package. All right, so they give us an idea as to what it will be.
Material support for housing or pen repairs, So a list of those things would include galvanized, hurricane straps, guttering lumber, tanks, nails, screws, cement and steel. And that cement and steel would be for mostly our poultry farmers, because I know from our assessment, most of the farmers who lost birds were due to drowning, and it's because of poor drainage. So a couple of the farms have not so much good drainage, so we can assist them in but constructing proper box drains that would be able to remove a lot of the waters in time of serious rain and flooding, and in the event that we do have another hurricane, because we're still in the hurricane season. It's still very new in the hurricane season. So I think this is a really good initiative, especially for our poultry farmers, because post-burial we'll actually start seeing the effects. As we know, there's quite a bit of requests to import some eggs, so we know a couple of our farmers would have taken a hit during burial, especially the poultry. Our farmers will be getting material support for housing or pen repairs.
All right, thank you very much, sir. And yeah, what else do I have to tell you about? I think we reached the time, so let me just pull that up right here. That we have received for you from the Met Office. They are saying that the weather for tonight is going to be partly cloudy with possible showers and a low chance of isolated thunderstorm. Tonight's minimum temperature 26 degrees Celsius. And winds easterly to east-southeasterly at 5 to 15 miles per hour, becoming variable to calm at times. Seas slight to moderate with waves 2 to 4 feet in open waters. Wednesday's weather is expected to be partly cloudy with possible isolated showers and a low chance of isolated thunderstorm. Max temperature for tomorrow 32.5 degrees Celsius, and minimum 25.5 degrees Celsius. Winds easterly to southeasterly at 8 to 18 miles per hour. Seas slight to moderate with waves 2 to 4 feet in open waters. All right, don't say I had goat mouth, but I'm telling you, we are very likely to experience a heat wave this week. The maximum temperature for Thursday is expected to be around the range of 33 degrees Celsius, and for Friday as well. So if this holds, you might by tomorrow or so, some part in the day, you're getting a heat wave. If not tomorrow, bet your dollar Thursday. Well, unless something drastically changes, because that's weather. Weather will say, you know what? I change my mind. Okay? So, all right. Let's big up a few people on the business now. We're bigging up Marcus, Suzanne. We're talking about Keith on YouTube. Keith, Leonora. Who else? The people who are always there on business. Yes, on YouTube. Big up all you because I see all the day. You understand? We love and appreciate everybody on there. Make sure you share the business. Facebook people just the same, like Bermuda, Barbara, Bernadette, Jacinta, Pearl, Diana, Liz, Michelle, Java and the sharing committee. Blessings to you. Mimi, Hazeland and Hazel, Adonna, Wagwan, yeah, Yvonne, Wagwan. If I haven't seen you in a couple of days, have I? I find I see you were missing in action for a day or two. You are anniversary follower, so don't drop off, Yvonne. How nice. Linton and Mom and everybody else there. Blessings to you guys. All right. So we touch base again. We have for you coming up. Those fools, me now. Okay. I don't know what that song is. Yeah, like a teaser. So yeah. Ooh, oh gosh. Yeah. What are y'all selves? What do you think about it? We have for you coming up the national report, and then I'm not gonna come back after the national report, right? When I'm going off one time. You understand? I'm going off one time. So go the other head. So guys, don't forget to be safe. Ting. Don't let nobody shake you. You understand? What you have to do. Stay on the safe side, stay straight and narrow all the time, yeah? So let's take our break, and when we come back, national reports. Stay right there.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via superb service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibbin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
Contractors and Machinery. We are your one-stop engineering and consultancy company with experience locally, regionally, and internationally. We provide excavation services and engineering consultancy, construction of residential and commercial structures, civil works such as drainage, retaining walls, roads, concrete patio services, paving services, concrete driveway services, remodeling and renovation, painting services, styling services, and so much more. Ask about our rental services of excavators, heavy equipment, metal formwork, and steel prop. Contact us today via telephone number 537-9675 or email infinitecontractors19@gmail.com.
Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store now has amazing deals, special discounted prices on wedding sets, watches, and selected jewelry. We sell top brand jewelry and watches like Citizen, Guess, and Klein, and G-Shock, all at the best prices in Grenada. We also buy scrap gold and offer the best deals and customer service on the island. Opening hours Mondays to Saturdays, 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store, located at the Esplanade Mall, St. George's, Grenada. Visit our brand new remodeled store or call us on telephone number 414-3114, 232-1234 or WhatsApp 533-1581. Sale is on for a limited time only.
This is the GIS News for Tuesday, September 17th, 2024. I am Rikisha St. Louis. In the headlines, Labour Minister Senator Claudette Joseph intervenes in Grenlec dispute and calls for cease in strike action. And UNICEF commits to make one-off payment to seed beneficiaries as post-burial relief initiative. We'll have details to these stories and more when we return.
Prepare for hurricane. Make sure you have your radio and your batteries too. Waterproof flashlight candles will do. Tin stuff, garbage bag, first aid kit. Come on people, make sure you have it. Clean water in a container and a hurricane plan. Hear me no man.
Hurricane damage is beyond your control. Surviving the aftermath is up to you. Have a hurricane plan. It can save your life and your family too.
Prepare for hurricane. Your hair, prepare for hurricane.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Labour has intervened in the ongoing dispute between the Grenada Electricity Company Grenlec and its employees following the recent dismissal of 2 temporary workers. Workers from various departments within the organization joined the strike action last week. According to Minister Joseph, following a mediation session held on Thursday with management and union representatives, workers agreed to cease the strike action and return to work.
Grenlec was notified of this by a letter which they received on Thursday last, and on Monday, the 9th, the workers at Grenlec proceeded on strike on account of the dispute. The matter was referred to me in my capacity as Minister for Labour on Wednesday the 11th. And on the same day, I invited the parties to a mediation session so that we might attempt to find common ground and resolve the dispute. And that mediation took place on the 12th. And at the end of the mediation, the workers agreed to cease the strike action and return to work. And I promised that I would give them my recommendations in writing on Monday.
Both parties were given until Monday, September 23rd to indicate whether they are in agreement with the proposed recommendations pending the next step.
So that if necessary, the next step, which would be arbitration, can be triggered. I have also asked the workers not to engage in further industrial action, bearing in mind the circumstances of the dispute and the fact that Grenlec is an essential service. The company provides an essential service under the law. And I've asked them in that circumstance to not embark on any further industrial action until the matter is fully resolved. I do hope that the recommendations that I have given would in fact bring an end to the dispute.
The Labour Minister told GIS one of the recommendations proposed is that the company consider employing the workers on a permanent basis.
Taken each of the individual circumstances into account and listening very carefully to both sides and attempting to make recommendations that are fair, reasonable, and just. And in this case, I thought it fair, reasonable, appropriate, and just to ask the company to engage both workers on a permanent basis for different reasons, because of course both of them, their circumstances were slightly different.
The United Nations International Children's Fund, UNICEF, is partnering with the Ministry of Social and Community Development to provide one-time cash payments to families in St. John and St. Mark who were affected by Hurricane Beryl. The cash transfer will be made to existing beneficiaries of the ministry's seed program. This is the second one-off payment made to beneficiaries post-Hurricane Beryl. The first was recently made by the World Food Program to families in St. Patrick. UNICEF works in over 190 countries and territories to save children's lives, defend their rights, and help them to fulfill their potential. The Social Policy Officer with the organization, Jemima Wilson, said the initiative is part of the program's thrust to strengthen its social protection systems in the region.
This initiative aims to deliver one-time cash grants to households in hurricane-affected areas, helping them recover and rebuild. Government assessments have identified that the parishes of St. Patrick, St. Mark, and St. John were the most affected by Hurricane Beryl. Given that St. Patrick was recently supported, like the PS just said, through a similar cash relief effort by the World Food Program, UNICEF's bus program will focus on providing support to St. Mark and St. John. To enter the bus, you have to be a beneficiary of Support for Education, Empowerment and Development and you have to live in one of the parishes, either St. Mark or St. John. This grant is funded by UNICEF as well as the Central Emergency Response Fund, which is a humanitarian fund established by the United Nations General Assembly.
Permanent Secretary Mrs. Naomi Jeremiah and the Social Development Director Mrs. Chrissy Warm Charles expressed gratitude to UNICEF for extending this kind gesture to the affected families in St. John and St. Mark. They both anticipate future partnerships with the organization that will benefit hundreds of Grenadians.
We are indeed happy as a ministry to partner with UNICEF to ensure that this vulnerable population will be receiving this cash transfer this week. We are indeed happy as a ministry to continue to provide relief to our citizens following the passage of burial.
We'll be focusing on our seed recipients from St. John and St. Mark, and we're asking persons to cooperate with us as we continue to provide those necessary support. And in moments like these, we really we acknowledge the support from our key stakeholders, and in particular UNICEF, for giving us this necessary financial support for our most vulnerable. So on behalf of our ministry, our permanent secretary and our minister, we'd like to say thank you so much to UNICEF as we continue to join hands together to provide support for our people.
The payments will be made by the end of this week. The Ministry of Agriculture, Lands, Forestry, Fisheries and Cooperatives on Monday hosted a one-day workshop focusing on the National Food Security Index, a critical tool used to track changes in the country's food security status. Facilitator Dr. Kirani James presented the findings from the recently completed National Security Index, sharing his technical expertise with participants from various sectors. The National Security Index, which feeds into the finalization and validation of the food security policy, was completed by the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands with support from the Food and Agriculture Organization, with technical support from the Central Statistical Office.
The government of Grenada has prioritized food security as one of the pillars that would guarantee that Grenadians are able to enjoy a decent standard of living, and also as a resilience measure too, right? When we talk about economic resilience, you got to be food secure. We have to use sampling technology and methodology to make sure that those who were selected to be interviewed to give us the information were scientifically and randomly selected. All right, and I must say that there's a team that were hired to do that, and they did a good job, right? So we did that. The approach we use for computing the index or looking at food security, we flip it around. So we look at food insecurity. And the FAO, over 150 countries now adopting that approach to analyzing food security. They look at food insecurity. That's the approach we took. So in other words, if you are 100% secure, right? If you are 100% insecure, that means you have a severe problem, right? And so that was the approach, and I'll talk about it some more. It's called the Field Insecurity Experience Survey. That methodology is what we adopted.
Throughout the workshop, participants engaged in in-depth discussions on core issues such as the affordability, availability, and quality of food. These elements are crucial for planning and implementing effective national initiatives aimed at ensuring food security for all citizens. The insights gained from the National Food Security Index will play a pivotal role in the finalization and validation of the country's food security policy, contributing to planning and development of initiatives that can drive the sector forward and improve food security and livelihoods. This is the GIS News. When we return, Grenada Coral Reef Foundation report several damage to corals in Guave due to climate change.
If there's one thing we know for sure, life is an unpredictable journey, full of twists and turns, but no matter where it takes you, the National Insurance Scheme is here, ready to support you every step of the way. Sickness benefits ensures that you can focus on recovery, not financial stress. Maternity allowance and grant provides essential support to start your beautiful journey of parenthood. The unemployment benefits act as a safety net, giving you peace of mind during challenging times. Employment injuries can be daunting, but NIS provides comprehensive coverage, including injury benefit, medical expenses, disablement, and death benefits. At NIS, your well-being is priority. Now, you can face challenges confidently, knowing that support is just a claim away. Contact us today to find out more about the range of benefits, or visit our website at www.nisgrenada.org.
Welcome back. The Grenada Coral Reef Foundation has reported significant damage to coral reefs in the Guave area, attributing the destruction to the ongoing impacts of climate change. The coral is being severely affected by sediment runoff caused by heavy rains and rising sea temperatures. This alarming situation was highlighted by Roland Baldio, director of the Grenada Coral Reef Foundation, during an insightful presentation at the community meeting in Guave. The event was organized by the National Adaptation Plan team within the Ministry of Climate Resilience in collaboration with the G-Cruise project. Last week's gathering in Guave was part of a series of community meetings across Grenada and Carriacou, aiming to raise awareness about climate change adaptation and resilience. Grenada, like many other small island developing states, is grappling with the severe consequences of the climate change. These include stronger hurricanes, rising temperatures, and sea level rise issues that are becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. Baldio shared his organization's experiences in Guave.
The other impact we have is from sediment runoff after heavy rainfall. You know, we have been having a lot of rain, and I mean, this is the nursery here, okay? But we have this river here, and you see what is happening here. All right, they run off from that river, and for some reason we have been getting those currents going up north a little, and this was just last week. All right, and you know, it wasn't heavy rain, and look at the plume, and the nursery is right here, and that would be going up into the in the nursery. All right, then we had bleaching. Bleaching is when the water gets too hot for the corals. It doesn't happen all the time, and when it happens, we could lose a lot of corals. And bleaching, you know, you would say this is looking beautiful, all right, but this is not supposed to be looking like that. It should be yellow. All right, I remember showing someone that photo, and they say, wow, it's beautiful, but it's dying. All right, and so that temperature, that hot temperature we had last year, I mean, look at us now. And we know it's getting warmer. All right, we know, we all feeling it in the night, in the day, and so we came here this evening and it was really warm. All right, and so with the corals, they're having the same problems. So those coral trees here, look at how it was looking. All right, and then last year we lost everything. Everything we lost. Okay, we don't know if we will ever get back those staghorn corals again. All right, lost everything because of the temperature of the water.
The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, a body comprising 195 governments, also continues to monitor these global changes. Their latest report outlined key vulnerabilities for small island developing states, which require urgent attention. Liana Romain, Climate and Outreach Advisor at the German Agency for International Cooperation, GIZ, provided further insight from the IPCC report.
The first thing that they have identified is that although climate change affects us globally, particularly for the Caribbean region and for small island developing states, we have a special disadvantage. And that is the case for a number of reasons. One, our governments are limited financially. a lot of the sectors that we depend on, for example, fisheries and farming, are climate sensitive. It means that any minimal changes to the environment affects fisheries, affects our oceans, affects our water cycle. Also for small island developing states, the assessment says that for displacement, the Caribbean will be particularly disproportionately disadvantaged. So for example, with Beryl, we saw how it's impacted Carriacou a lot, and I was speaking to someone last week on how are things on the ground, and she did say that a lot of persons had to move to Grenada. Even her own daughter was still at home, not going to school. So this whole idea of climate mobility and being displaced will be, for the Caribbean region, a real concern, and we will be disproportionately in a disadvantaged state, is what the science is saying. Secondly, in terms of temperature rise, the assessment did reveal that the 1.5 degree target would more than likely happen by 2040. So it means that temperatures will rise to 1.5 degrees by 2040, and this would have, in some cases, irreversible impacts. So for example, rise in oceans is very hard to reverse. Temperature rises in the ocean and the acidification that we're experiencing, and even with Mr. Baldio's presentation, this has implications on the coral reefs and the bleaching events and everything like that. Also, we have a very small window to take action. So it means that the action that we're speaking about in our slogan, we're talking now. We're talking actually yesterday.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Climate Resilience, the Environment and Renewable Energy, Perron Johnson, also outlined the government's ongoing efforts to address these critical issues.
In terms of pinpointing what are some of the initiatives that we'll be looking at and that will directly impact, because I know persons want to know what can be done to ensure that my house can withstand whatever hurricane, whether it's a category 3, 4, or 5 hurricane. So for example, one of the initiatives that would be embarked on is that of climate resilient infrastructure. All right? So we'll be looking at building back, not just better, but building back houses that are climate smart and building back houses that are more resilient to the various climate change challenges. So, as early as next week, there will be a launch, all right, in the St. Patrick area of climate resilience houses. So I want to take the opportunity on behalf of my colleagues in the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation to invite you to come out and have an idea, get to know what are some of the projects and programs that are coming on stream to ensure that you are not just building back better, but you are building back houses and other property in a more climate smart and more resilient manner. Then also we are looking at initiative geared towards ecosystem protection. So that will be basically looking at protecting and restoring natural ecosystem like the mangrove, because you will notice we had massive destruction of the mangrove clearly in Carriacou and Petit Matnik, so specifically in Carriacou. So these will be some of the initiative that we would be embarking on. And again, we would not just be doing it as a government, but we're looking at how can we collaborate with other players, whether NGOs, taking on what we dub as a whole of society approach.
Community meetings continue this week on Wednesday 18th at the St. Patrick Anglican School and Friday at Mermaid Hotel in Carriacou. The public is advised and encouraged to attend and join the conversation on climate action and resilience. Our stories deserve to be told. The driving force behind the staging of the 2024 Anti-Tech Literary Festival in October, the Grenada Cultural Foundation, in collaboration with the Grenada Published Authors, Inc., will highlight various genres of the word through various activities at the parish level. The festival, named after Grenada's most notable folklorist, the late Thelma Philip Anti-Tech, seeks to capture Grenada's history and culture through the spoken and written word from Monday 7th October to Saturday 12th October. CEO of the Grenada Cultural Foundation, Livingston Nelson, said this year they are expanding the expressions.
We're also expanding on a second level, that no longer just regular panel discussions, etc., on televisions, or not just for intellectuals, but we want to bring in our parish-based organizations. We want them to dig deep and go into the communities and unearth some of our practitioners, some of the people that tell the old-time stories, even the Nancy stories, but also our poets and our published authors. We want them to honor them and bring them to the fore. We have also moved to invite not just some selected schools, but all schools. So there is this clarion call for all principals, all primary, secondary schools, private and public, to be part of this anti-Take Spice Word Festival that is scheduled to take place from the 7th to the 12th of October. On the 7th, we are going to be having a panel discussion, but a panel discussion with a difference, where we are going to be bringing some of our practitioners. So at that panel discussion, we're going to have a playwright who would actually be presenting excerpts from the play in the person of Uriah Peters. He too would be doing some part of storytelling. We also have Dennett Alexander, our next storyteller, who is going to be presenting live stories. And what we are hoping out of this success, and then we have Squeezy, Christopher Antoine. He too would be presenting his calypso, and he would be, all of the authors, all of the publishers, they would be going through in terms of how the creative process evolved. On the 9th of October, the Guava Improvement Committee is launching a program where they have invited someone to do a workshop on drama, on storytelling, on script writing at the Anglican Pastoral Center in Guava. That would be from 1 to 3, again, on that date. So people in St. John's in particular, keep close and stay tuned and make sure you go and attend that event. So that was on the 9th. On the 10th, we are having an open mic night at Spice Basket. Now, we are inviting the public to come out. You have a poem, you have a short story, your own makeup story or one of the traditional stories. Can you come and do a talk at Calypso? Would you like to sing us your own song, something that you have created? Do you have a book and you want to just read a short excerpt from it? Are you a playwright and you want to do a short script out of it? Yes, all that. It's an open mic night, and we are inviting the public to come out again. The time is from 6 to 8, right here, right at the Spice Basket in Bolio. So we're inviting the public.
Grenadian playwright Christopher DeRigg says the public will thoroughly be entertained and educated during the festival.
In Grenada, we are trying to do exactly that, to document, to research, document, and give visibility to our writers. And so, in the context of Grenada, and when we look at a literary festival, I think we can look at maybe 4 genres of literature. We can speak about fiction and non-fiction. We can speak about poetry and drama. And all these aspects are given visibility in the context of what we are doing now, with the exception of drama. We're not at the stage where we have on display or published plays. Although we have, over the years, produced our own plays, written and produced our own plays. If you visit the bookstores in Grenada and in other places, we are yet to see on display the published works of our dramatists. Certainly, changing the whole aspect and the profile of Grenadian literature. Let us remind ourselves that our stories are just as legitimate as the stories being told by other people in other parts of the world, our stories are worthy of being told. So it is with a sense of pride that the Grenada Cultural Foundation is participating in yet another anti-tech literary festival.
Local author Alyssa Bezinski said the book festival will be held to culminate the literary festival. The big expo will feature local authors of various genres of literature.
So the Grenada Book Festival is going to be that final big bang of the 2024 Anti-Tech Spicewood Literary Festival. It's going to happen at the Grenada Trade Center Annex, and it will run from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. And so we are going to transform the annex space into 3 separate areas. The first area is the Children's Corner. And the Children's Corner is going to be an interactive space for children with storytelling and illustration activities. So Grenadian authors, children's book authors specifically, and some of our beloved children's book characters, like Good Boy Milo, will be there to engage with the children, and lots of activities for the children. The Children's Corner will run from 1 to 5 p.m. We're going to do it in 3 different blocks, but there will be designated children's activities from 1 to 5 p.m. That's one part of the annex. This middle part of the annex, we're calling that the Authors Avenue, and that's the exhibition of authors. We currently have about 20 authors registered, so they will have individual booths, individual tables, so it will be all about them. So it's an opportunity to come and meet authors, ask questions, take pictures, get autographs, get some advice, some tips of the trade, as well as we'll be doing some book sales. And the Authors Avenue will be open for the entire duration of the event. The third component of the event is our main stage. So on the main stage, we will have regularly scheduled panel discussions, poetry readings, prose readings, some story time for the children. So every hour thereabouts, there'll be something happening on the main stage. So there'll be something for everyone when you come to the Grenada Book Festival.
Continuing the news, the U.S. Embassy and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has partnered to facilitate a 4-day economic prosperity workshop on the promotion of foreign investment and trade with the United States. The workshop was opened with a ceremony at the Public Workers Union building on Monday. Francis Herrera, Principal Officer of the U.S. Embassy in St. George's, said by the end of the workshop, stakeholders in Grenada will have a clearer understanding of how to collaborate effectively to attract foreign investment.
From September 16th to 19th, we will come together with a shared goal, and that's to enhance economic prosperity in Grenada by promoting foreign investment and trade with the United States. This workshop is designed to facilitate meaningful dialogue and collaboration between Grenadian stakeholders and our international partners. By focusing on key strategies for foreign investment and trade, we aim to drive economic growth, create job opportunities, and improve living standards in Grenada. Our efforts here also seek to strengthen bilateral relations between Grenada and the United States.
Minister for Trade and Export Development, Honorable Joseph Andel, said this workshop complements the efforts of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who is tasked with driving trade and export development.
Given the ministry's pivotal role in driving trade and export development in Grenada, we welcome this workshop as a timely and complementary initiative to the ongoing efforts of the ministry to strengthen capacity building and export readiness among local entrepreneurs. A key thrust of the ministry's engagement with bilateral partners such as the United States, international development agencies, or overseas missions and the Grenadian diaspora is to showcase Grenada's unique niche industry sectors and agribusinesses. The United States is not just the Caribbean region's largest trading partner. It is also an important tourism source market and a major tourism destination for Caribbean people, as well as the adopted second home of many of our citizens in the diaspora. Therefore, it is natural for us to deepen trade ties, and that is highlighted in the diverse topics covered in this workshop.
Renowned specialist in international trade and business consulting, Tanya McNeil-Wary and Tate Alberto, business coach and founder of the Hispanic Chamber of the E-Commerce San Diego, are the presenters of the workshop. Tanya spoke about the workshop's focus areas.
Over the next 4 days, we're going to talk about some current trends in global trade and how that's impacting entrepreneurs. We're going to talk about the United States as a key trade partner and what are some of the opportunities as well as the challenges of doing business in the United States. But we're going to talk about how you can also overcome those challenges. So marketing strategies, which I know that's a big hot topic for entrepreneurs, is how do I market my products and services? We're going to talk about digital marketing and establishing relationships with U.S. partners and how to leverage those relationships to grow your business.
Alberto assures that the workshop will be engaging and beneficial to all participants.
Really make this as relatable as possible, because we want you guys to walk out of here with strategies, resources, tools, ideas that you can implement in your business, or maybe potential new products, etc. So the topics that the embassy selected and the way that we crafted the content is in a way for us to provide as much valuable as we can.
Other partners involved in the workshop includes the Ministry of Economic Development, the Grenada Investment Development Corporation, and the Grenada Chamber of Industry and Commerce. This is the GIS News. When we return, Division of Youth to host National Youth Election.
Are you thinking about buying a vehicle? Did you find a company on social media? Stop. It may be a scam. Look out for the following red flags. Is the price lower than other dealers? Does it seem too good to be true? Are you sending the monies to the US even though you are ordering the vehicle from Japan? Does the address on the invoice match the address on the payment details? Are conversations limited to WhatsApp text? Is there a sense of urgency placed on you by the seller? You are about to be scammed. Do not take your hard-earned cash or even worse, a loan to send to these scammers. Once the money leaves Grenada's shores, you are not likely to get it back. Consider buying a vehicle already on island from an individual or a car dealer. Beware of these scammers. If in doubt, it's best to stay out. A message from the Financial Intelligence Unit.
Welcome back. The Division of Youth is set to host its inaugural National Youth Elections following a series of parish-level youth parliament sittings May and June this year. The National Youth Elections will be a welcomed instrument to give youth the opportunity to further understand their role in contributing to the policy direction of the country to develop a better future for youth in politics. 29 candidates selected to contest in the first ever National Youth Elections from 14 constituencies. They will be engaged in activities like a national general election, forming campaigns to gain support from the young people for a chance to represent them at the National Youth Parliament. The elected parliamentarians will serve a 2-year term. Throughout their stint, they will engage in regular National Parliament youth sittings, debating actual bills passed in the National Parliament. In addition, they will participate in a comprehensive mentorship program, attend official engagements in their capacity as youth parliamentarians, and have access to the Community Support Grant Fund to initiate community and youth development projects. Each National Youth Parliamentarian will receive a stipend to assist in their National Youth Parliamentary debates. Voting will be done online. Young people interested in voting to elect their representative are asked to log into the Youth Election website at youthelections.gov.gd to register and familiarize themselves with the National Youth Elections process. Due to the passage of Hurricane Beryl and the devastation caused, the Carriacou Youth Parliament sitting and elections will take place in 2025. The Caribbean community notes with deep sadness the passing on Friday, September 13th, of His Excellency Leonard Archer, former Bahamian ambassador to CARICOM. During his 15 years of representation to the community, Ambassador Archer served his country with distinction. He was instrumental in the activities of the Council for Foreign and Community Relations, contributing to enhancing the community's relationships with international organizations and the third states, including the integration of Haiti as a member state. An avid trade unionist, his wealth of knowledge and expertise in industrial relations helped to shape CARICOM's Charter of Civil Society. Ambassador Archer's legacy includes a solid contribution to education and the professional formation of young people in his homeland, the Bahamas, and by extension, the region. CARICOM conveys condolences to the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and his family members. That story just ended the local segment of the GIS News. When we return, we'll join Leslie and Johnson for the sport highlights.
The Ministry of Climate Resilience, the Environment and Renewable Energy, in collaboration with the NAP Global Network and the GCRUISE Project, presents Everyone in Action for Climate Change Adaptation, a series of community meetings on climate change adaptation and resilience. Here are the dates to remember. Starting at 5 p.m., Monday 9th September, Mount Craven Community Center, St. Patrick. Wednesday 11th September, Granville Secondary School, St. Andrew. Thursday 12th September, St. John Anglican School, Guave for St. John and St. Mark. Monday 16th September, The Canal, St. David. Tuesday 17th September, Boca Secondary School, St. George. And on Friday, 20th September at 10 a.m., we'll be in Carriacou at the Mermaid Hotel. Let's talk climate change. Let's talk adaptation. Let's talk resilience. See you there.
Well, at this time of the year, we do expect rainfall events because we will be affected by systems such as tropical wave passing through. We will have the presence of the ITCZ in our area, and we might even have tropical cyclones, whether it's depression or storm. Okay? So what we would expect is we will have big rain events. Okay? No matter how dry or wet the season is, we are going to have big rain events. So therefore it is important for every household to have some bit of water stored, because these big rain events normally put pressure on the water system. For example, we have landslides that we take away pipes. We might have heavy rainfall that would block the dams and so forth, and so your regular supply would be interrupted. So it is so important for every household to have the recommended 3 days storage of potable water in the household for such eventualities.
The Grenada Drafts Association is preparing to host the Pan American Rapid Drafts Tournament at McDonald College this weekend. The round-robin tournament officially begins on Sunday and runs until next Wednesday. Team Grenada will be joined by teams from Antigua, St. Lucia, Dominica, and Suriname. President of the Grenada Drafts Association, Adam Andal, expects the host country to give a good account of itself.
The team will be managed by former national captain Pastor Harry Joseph. We have Dwight Clark, who is an international player. We have Vincent Joseph, who is a former national captain. Sean Walcott, who is also a former national captain. Chi Joseph, Carriacou is very well represented. We have Kenrick Charles, we have Richard Gibbon, and you have myself, Adam Andal. The players all have regional experience, so I expect very, very good things from them. We have training sessions, in particular online. Last night there was a session up at the home of draft, Roots University School of Draft. That's the home of draft in Grenada. And we had a few players there doing their normal training. Well, I usually take my training online and I use my computer programs to help me with my skill. So I believe that this time Grenada is going to be putting in a very, very good performance.
A highlight of the tournament is the Super Blitz competition. Former national drafts champion Dwight Clark explains.
The Super Blitz tournament is basically a fast tournament. It's a very fast game we play. So usually now, the normal time for a draft game, which might be like in an international tournament, which might be like 1 hour and 30 minutes a person. The Super Blitz, it's 5 minutes and 2 seconds a person. So it's a very rapid game. We might watch it as a very slow game because 5 minutes sound like a lot, but really and truly, it's very fast.
The Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League will make a $50,000 contribution to support tertiary level students who have had their last year of education significantly disrupted following the impact of Hurricane Beryl in July. The disaster has had a massive impact on the lives of residents in the northern parts of Grenada as well as Carriacou and Petite Martinique, and has left students needing considerable support to complete their education. The CPL's donation will support students with accommodation, meals, transportation and school supplies while they continue their studies at the T.M. Arisho Community College. In addition, the CPL will be making a commitment to bring a number of these students to the CPL in 2025 to work as interns at the event to further help with their professional development as they consider their future career options. First started in 2013, the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League (CPL) is a franchise-based T20 format cricket tournament that combines two of the most compelling aspects of Caribbean life: dramatic cricket and a vibrant carnival atmosphere. The 2024 tournament, which began on August 29th, will run until the 6th of October. And finally, the third annual Grenada Rugby World Sevens tournament will be officially launched at the Grenada Athletic Stadium at 3:30 p.m. on Wednesday. The launch will take place in the presence of the Minister for Tourism, the Creative Economy and Culture, the Honourable Adrian Thomas, and Minister for Youth and Sports, the Honourable Delma Thomas. The Grenada Tourism Authority is partnering with the Grenada Rugby Association's third annual Grenada Rugby World Sevens. This partnership will aid in developing the sport on island and market it as one of the emerging sports tourism products. Games will officially begin on Friday, December 6th. And that's the GIS Evening Sports. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Now for a recap of the top stories. Labour Minister Senator Claudette Joseph intervenes in Grenlec dispute and calls for cease-in-strike action. And UNICEF commits to make one-off payment to seed beneficiaries as post-burial relief initiative. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I'm Rikisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us.